Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. She's the only one not paying attention. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. Huh. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Hassan for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walked to the other end of the roof while I stayed at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There is nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few run-down benches and tables are scattered along the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make this rooftop look less desolate. Small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain-link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards a convenience store nearby. Somewhere, a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. I wonder what we're going to do after that year's over then, you know? I don't know, just something to think about. Ooh. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly, I haven't had time to think how I feel about it. Wait, did I skip something on accident? I don't think so, but... no. Also, I like this song, Air Guitar. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. The cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. I like the color cerulean, it's pretty nice. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin until and produces one big and 2 small lunchboxes from her bag. Come on, Sal, what are you waiting for? Why are they different sized? She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself in the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go. Lunch is promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, I make it myself when I can. They are like the exact opposite. She's like all happy and bubbly, and Rin just looks like she'd rather be anywhere else. Conversation dies off as I said about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin definitely opening the lunchbox and popping a fork full of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed with their dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? Probably. I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Not really, this is just your new normal. There's no such thing as a normal person. Everyone is different, so how can you be normal? Or does it just mean I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? Probably that one. I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. How dare you dishonor my ancestors? You seem pretty hungry. And he looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choked my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I sure will think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to each other. So the legless, energetic girl matches well with the armless, careless girl. Complement each other. Like shoes in a suit. Huh? Emmy giggled at my confusion. Put us together and we've got all our limbs. Get it? So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. I guess that does explain it. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. What gave it a... That's rude, sorry. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So putting on a shirt seems like it's one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm going to just stop talking now. Did I miss something? I don't think. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to lunch. It's really quite good. Yeah, homemade lunch is always going to be better than something you buy, I think. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Oh, that was good. Patting herself on the back as she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch. Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be a cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sort of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So Hasao, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Oh, I'm the opposite. I don't like heights. Thanks for inviting me up here. I want to get over that fear, though. And for the lunch, too. Like when I was younger, I didn't mind, but now I don't like them. And he grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. And he looks mock offended, trying to take advantage of my good nature. The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. I am suddenly insulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pounds. Just a meme picture of someone just going like, oh, my heart. Kidding, I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location and the company's okay too. Just okay. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but she seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. As I drop the books I'd borrowed into the return slot in the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you. No, that's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over to the corner where Hanako had been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like the last time to get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. Feeling utterly drained, I head back to my room to read the books I borrowed. There's been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. It's just as trippy as I remember the story to be, with the wacky characters and nonsense plot. I start thinking of myself as some kind of an Alice too, haplessly tumbling down the rabbit hole into this crippled wonderland. Okay, that's a rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way the school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It is like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everyone being so hospitable and friendly with me.